just keep it going. I'm kinda like I'm reading orders. Depth pool, got a fight and it full of high hopes. Look at my flow, DLM man, keep it liquid, it's never not so. Harder like whoa, talking about slippage, bro, I don't even know that hoe. Easy in this pizza, they get fees, a little bacon, start the vault until the cheese is done. Fools are paying me like I don't even go to beach, I'd rather be here on the feet or something. Best believe it's decent, wavy man, I see secret chillin' in the deep end. Every weekend, see me, you can depend on it, cause I mean it coming up. You can even find a way to flood it up. You done enough, 10% stimulate and run it up. Point system looking like a fine weather, won't miss a solid contribution, could've pointed out enough. I met up with Matt, had a really good chat. He's telling me that LP Army does laps, that orbit does this Meteor's headed when no one's expecting it, we watching it happen, ayy. In a pool of Meteora, watch me swim, swap a bed, I just keep it going. I'm kinda like I'm reading orders. Depth pool, got a fight and it full of high hopes. Look at my flow, DLM man, keep it liquid, it's never not so. Harder like whoa, talking about slippage, bro, I don't even know that hoe. Easy in this pizza, they get fees, a little bacon, start the vault till the cheese is done. Fools paying me like I don't even go to beach, I'd rather be here on the street or
Okay, hey guys, GMAT everybody. Welcome to this week's community call. I hope you guys are excited as much as I am. I'm just pretty much looking at the Discord right now in real time, seeing everything blow up because of the recent announcement we just made. Yeah, it's gonna be a pretty stacked agenda for this call. We're gonna be going through, hold on, let me just bring up the screen real quick. Yep, we're going to be going through lots of updates across all verticals as well right now. Updates on the product side of things. And also the much awaited points checker is now live. So you can go and check it out. But if you want to learn a bit more about details behind the point system, we're going to cover that in just a bit as well. Lastly, we're going to cover a bit of updates on the LP Army side of things. So lots to cover today. And I can see that a lot of people are pretty much excited in the chat as well. I can see JP's in the chat. Big GMAT to you guys. Bruder says he got 1 point. Very bullish. Point checker is now live, and you can go and check it out. So quite a lot of things to cover today. So we're gonna, go straight into it. So live on Meteora.ag, we now have dynamic positions on the DLMM. So last week we covered, we unveiled a few updates on the fee combination side of things. So we unveiled new updates across combinations on the 20 bin step, the 50 bin step, the 100 bin step, and a couple more combinations as well. And lots of people have been fairly vocally, supportive of it. Our power users like Chief, like Sats Monks, like HMC, Gosha, lots of folks. Fairly excited about dynamic positions, and understandably so, because this pretty much changes the game for the DLMM. We might possibly see potentially new metas coming into play, new strategies coming into play. So we're going to cover that in just a bit. And with that, I'm also going to be adding our very good friend Shane into the chat as well. Shane, how are you, brother?
I'm good. Busy testing and using the new dynamic positions that I will just cover a little bit today, and getting a lot of good feedback from users. Of course, both positive and some suggestions, right, for how we can improve it. So I think today's call is a good opportunity for us to just have a quick recap of what dynamic positions actually bring to your LP game, and some of the improvements we're working on, some of the general tips that you can use right now to make your LPing experience smoother, given the new feature that we just released last week.
Absolutely.
Right. I'll just jump straight into it. So quick recap. So last week we talked about dynamic positions and how it's gonna change how you actually set your positions, and how much, whether you need one position or multiple positions, right? And it went live earlier this week, and I know some of you have questions about it. So here's a quick refresher. For dynamic positions, basically in the past, you can only create a position that goes up to 69 bins for one position. Any further, right? Any higher bins would result in two or more positions, and you would have to pay position rent on each of those positions. So now with dynamic position, we actually, on the program side, added new endpoints such that you can extend or decrease your position and increase the number of bins as well for each position. So right now there's a technical max of 1,400, but this is a lot of bins, right? And
Absolutely.
we,
Just to hold on,
oh,
just to do a bit of math there. 1,400 bins is about 20 times more than the initial max cap that we have of 69 bins. So that's going to be covering quite a fair bit of a price range there, and excited to see what people cook up with that. Sorry to cut you off there, Shane. Go ahead.
no, no problem. Exactly like you said. I think personally for me, I do up to about 400 bins, right? But that's on my personal level. I think the Goose Gang and the LP Army folks have many different types of strategies that might require more or less, right? But I think I think there's a consensus that 69 bits per position wasn't sufficient. And so dynamic
Yep.
position is a long time coming. People have been asking it for it like since last year, and we're very glad it's now live. Obviously, we want to optimize it further, but yeah, we're just so happy that it's live and there's no critical bugs, right? Like it's working fine. So moving on to the next slide. So based on our tests, we realized that executing the transactions to add liquidity into your position using priority fee alone may not be sufficient, right? It may not land the transactions often compared to using jitter bundles. So some of you have noticed that actually when you're using DLMM and adding liquidity, because dynamic position now it's the default, right? Like we always use jitter bundles to execute your transactions, and every 4 transactions is bundled into one bundle. So if you have more bins, naturally you're going to have require more transactions and more jitter bundles involved. Same thing when you withdraw and close, and these transactions are executed sequentially so that when you add liquidity, your liquidity shape, right, doesn't go out of whack. Like if certain transactions at different bins, land first before others, there might be a lot of gaps or too many weird chips. So we actually execute these transactions sequentially using Jito for a smoother experience.
Yeah. So
Moving
what that
on.
means is
Oh, yeah,
What,
go
what
ahead.
that means is, for dynamic positions to be put in place, if you are going to be opening a position with slightly more than 69 bins, initially you're going to have to open more than one position, and then you're going to have to deal with more than one position, which is pretty much a pain for a lot of our power LPs. But for dynamic positions, you're going to have to manage it all in one position. But with that, it also comes with the slight additional time it takes because you need to execute the transaction via digital bundles. So just expect a bit more, a bit longer, like processing time for your transaction to take place.
Yep, exactly. So for claiming your fees, the slight difference is even though we prioritize Jito bundles over priority fee here, is that when you're claiming your fees, this is not necessary to be done sequentially because it doesn't involve adding liquidity into different bins in your position. So when you click claim more fees, you'll notice that even if you have multiple transactions, certain transactions can land, faster than others, right? It doesn't need, you don't need to wait for the prior transaction to land before the next transactions land.
All right, very, very good stuff.
So as mentioned earlier, this applies to even before dynamic position was introduced. The more bins involved, obviously the cost would increase. And for dynamic positions, to as a general rule of thumb, right? Like if you reduce the number of bins used, the costs are lower, and the success rate for your transaction will be higher as well. And if you noticed, right, when you set a position that has a very high number of bins, we start showing you a notice, right? Like to just expect that sometimes there could be failed transactions, but we also provided a retry button for you to just simply click, and it will just continue where it left off to add liquidity into the bins in your position.
Absolutely. So a bit of error handling there, just to come along with sometimes when you open a position with more than 69 bins, it might take a bit longer. That's why we have the retry transactions, the retry failed transactions button there as well.
So going to the costs involved, right? Before dynamic positions were introduced, for every single position that you create, like 69 times three positions, each position requires a position rent. Now with dynamic position, with just one position, you only pay position rent once. However, there's a new type of rent involved, right, which is called a position extension rent. And so naturally, when there are more bins, this would increase. But on a per bin basis, based on our testing, right, if comparing to pre-dynamic position uh, liquidity, allocation, when you account for the fact that in the past it requires more positions, it's actually more expensive than compared to now, right? So now it's cheaper with dynamic positions because you only pay position rent once, but you do have to pay uh, position extension rent for more bins. But on a per bin basis, on average, it's cheaper than before. As
Absolutely.
usual, you still have to pay for new bin arrays created, right? That didn't change. And but the good thing is that position rent, both position rent and position extension rent are refundable. So these are all clearly broken down in the cost details when before you add liquidity. So always please check before you add liquidity so that you don't get a shock for in terms of the cost involved.
Absolutely. When you're opening a fairly big position, you might have to cover quite a bit of position rent. So please check the cost details before opening a position.
And just to further, warn users, right, in terms of the cost involved, if the costs required is 0.5 SOL and above, we actually highlighted in orange. And as you can see, it doesn't mean that you're paying that amount forever, right? Like you actually, it depends on the whether it's a cost for the position extension rent, for the position rent, or is it for a new bin array costs. So for position rent and position extension rent, it's refundable, and these are all also clearly stated under the cost details.
Absolutely. And considering the position extension rents, right? Is it fair to say that this will then be it'll still be cheaper than, pre-dynamic position, the pre-dynamic position era, like before, you have to open a position, you have to open multiple positions and maybe deal with additional bin arrays. Would dynamic positions make it slightly cheaper?
Exactly. Yeah. Primarily because you don't have to pay position rent multiple times in the past, right? Like compared to now, you don't have to pay position rent multiple times compared to before when one position only had 69 bins.
Correct.
So for some, to tackle some of the questions from the community from yesterday. So if you noticed, right, like when we actually included more info now at for your priority uh, level settings, right? Whether you select priority fee, JITO only, or mixed, we actually indicate that at the top, right? So it's clear, as well as your max fee cap. And although for the DMV1 and V2 and the rest of the app, uh, your custom settings would apply, but just for DLMM uh, transactions, this is something that it's important for you to realize is that we always prioritize Jito bundles because for a smoother experience. So even if you select priority fee, we are actually using Jito bundles to land your transactions. But this is one area on improvement that we are working on, and we have gotten like feedback from users. We also already discussing internally with our design team and engineers on how to better display this. So, but basically for now, take note that although you selected priority fee as your transaction broadcasting option, we are still using Jito bundles to land transactions to give you a smoother experience. And yeah, of course, if any bundles fail, simply click retry, and it should continue where it left off, and it should succeed right the next round.
Absolutely, and this is fairly important because I'm assuming if you increase the max cap before you open a position, it would also likely lead to your transactions, even though slightly bigger, it might land that there might be a higher chance of your positions landing. So it's good to have more visibility here.
And I'm sure some of you have also noticed that there could be certain gaps in your position. Sometimes it's just one bin, sometimes it could be more, and there could be also be some weird protrusions right from your liquidity shape. So the reason this happens is because while we are helping to execute the transactions, when you are adding liquidity, the active bin price may shift, right? So this often happens for pools where the active bin price is moving, is very volatile, and it might be taking a few seconds for you to add liquidity, and during that few seconds, the bin price moves. So that causes what we call like redundant liquidity in the bin position, as well as like certain gaps. And we are trying to work on certain ways to kind of mitigate this, maybe with an additional transaction to so-called rebalance, but this is still in the works. So for now, although this is expected behavior, the one way to kind of prevent such shapes from happening is to uh, increase, right? You obviously use ultra, increase your max fee cap by a little, and also to not use too many bins, right? Like if you notice that this happens a lot for the pool that you are using. And yep, some of you have also asked us if we would open up multiple positions again in the future. As of now, because 1,400 bins is pretty high already, and the higher the number of bins, the transaction success rate will decrease, right? You will need more Jito tip, right? You need to pay more fees for the Jito tip as well to make sure that it lands fast and succeeds more often. So we feel that for at least for this current version, we are restricting users from going beyond 1,400 bins, and you just simply have to adjust your price range such that the number of bins is lower than 1,004, and you would be able to add liquidity if you do see this warning.
Absolutely, and even at the current standpoint, I think going from 69 bins to 1,400 bins, we're going to see a lot more people, play around with smaller bin step strategies, like the 20 bin step strategies or like the 50 bin step strategies, which will be able to cover quite a wide price range, with just a limit of 1,400. If you need more than 1,400, I don't know what kind of strategy you're using, but we'll take that feedback. We'll look into it.
A small note there, although within one position, we kept when you are adding liquidity, we kept it at 1,004. If you need, for some reason, as part of your strategy, require multiple positions in that pool, you can still first create a position that is less than 1,004, and then add liquidity again in a new position within the same pool. So that option is still available to you.
Absolutely.
So to moving on to the next question to users from users about the priority level and the fee mode and the max cap. So although we for by default we prioritize Judo bundles for all DRM transactions, you still have the ability to set your priority level. So if you use fast, that would be cheaper, right? The amount of fee that you pay to Jido tip for the Jido tip will be lower, but the in general, right, the transaction success rate and speed would be lower than if you had chosen turbo or ultra, right? And but to protect yourself, you can always set your max fee cap so that you never pay more than what you indicate. So this is one general tip to land transactions more often and faster. Another tip would be to, sorry, for the other picture, to ensure that when you create a position, your price range doesn't have too many bins. Although we technically allow 1,000 up to 1,004, it's recommended, if you have a need for speed, right, and you want to ensure transactions land quickly and with the shape smooth without weird protrusions or gaps, the lower number of bins would be better.
Absolutely. So general considerations, if you're just trying out dynamic positions, going past 69 bins, don't go as Hector would say, don't go loco and go close to 1,400. You might deal with some of these kind of things that we're still working on in terms of letting the transactions land. So here these are some general tips that Shane has shared. Have a max cap, but you can bump up your priority levels, and at the same time, just make sure that you try using. You can go past 69, but don't go way past 69 until you hit the next limit, which is 1,400 pins.
So another factor that influences the weird gaps, right, and whether your transaction land is liquidity slippage. So this was already, the ability to set your liquidity slippage settings was already available even pre-dynamic positions. But for dynamic position, it's it applies to sometimes if you set a liquidity slippage that is too big, let's say 10% or more, and if the transactions don't when if the active bin moved right by a lot during the time you are adding liquidity, you might see a gap of multiple bins, for example. So based on our testing, right, what we would recommend is around a max of 1.5%, of course, give and take, right? Like you still can adjust, but try not to go too big for the liquidity slippage. And for those of you who are new to this particular setting, basically liquidity slippage, similar to swap slippage, right? It actually limits to it caps how much you are willing to accept, right? The movement, right, of the active bin price when you're adding liquidity, such that it affects your liquidity distribution and whether it succeeds or not. So if it goes beyond your settings, your threshold that you set, the transaction will fail, which that is expected, right? Like you don't want the transaction to land if it goes beyond your max cap for the slippage. And lastly, the last tip we have for you is, if for some of you who noticed the position is not updated, or there could be even some old positions that keep appearing, try to change your RPC, right? So at the top right of your PC screen, you will see your settings to change your RPC endpoint. Sometimes certain RPC endpoints go down, right? So we have actually three different options for you, and you can even use your custom RPC endpoint as well if you need.
These are super useful tips, especially when we're just starting out using dynamic positions. I know some people have been voicing out their concerns, especially when it comes to the slightly longer time in executing the transaction and setting up the position. So Shane has pretty much shared a lot of these useful tips to help you land your transactions faster, and so you can deal with a lot more bins and a wider price range much better. So big alpha from Shane, and thank you so much for pretty much sharing a lot of these tips to help people with dynamic positions.
Yes. So continue sending feedback our way. This is not the end of our job, right? For dynamic positions, we are continuing to look into how we can optimize the costs. So even from yesterday, between yesterday and today, we actually rolled out a stealth update in terms of the priority fee settings for the digital bundles. We actually found a way to lower the cost as well as to better estimate what is like kind of the average cost required for the digital bundle when you're adding transactions. So you should see some cost reduction already between yesterday and today. And we are continuing to experiment and look into that. Also for the weird shapes that you are seeing. But if you follow the tips that we outlined just now, I think for the most part you'll be quite good. And yeah, let us know how we can improve.
Absolutely. Dynamic positions pretty much has been close to a year of research, coming into place. So this is a pretty huge update that we're having on the DLMM. So keep trying it out. Let us know your feedback. Let us know what will probably be like a lot more helpful for you in terms of executing transactions or managing your positions, and send your feedback to Shane's way. All right. Thank you so much, Shane, for coming on and pretty much spilling the alpha on dynamic positions. And we'll, if anyone has any feedback, just send it our way, and we'll continue working on improving dynamic positions. So thank you so much, Shane, for coming on, and we'll see you in a bit. And now, ladies and gentlemen, this is the moment we've been pretty much waiting for. The whole team has pretty much been busting our heads, trying to figure out, how to make this work. And it is also my absolute pleasure to also bring up onto the stage our very good friend Soju into the stage. Soju, how are you, brother?
GM. Yes, hear me? Yeah. GM. I've been in Discord the entire time, the past like 30 minutes or so since we released the points tracker, answering questions non-stop. But
Yep.
I'm happy to finally talk through it here. I think like a lot of things to talk about how we calculate and how we assess things. So let's get to it.
Let's get into it indeed.
Yeah, so that's a quick recap, guys. So we concluded season 1 at the end of 30th June, which is split into 2 sections, 2024 and 2025, and with a separate section which is the launch spread, launch boost. So you can view your points broken down in these 3 categories on the UI, just in case you're wondering how much points you earn for 2024, how much points you earn for 2025. And just a note that like for the past 1.5 years, we cover DRM and DMM V1, but season 2 is currently ongoing and it will cover DRM and DMM V2. So please use DMM V2 instead of V1 if you want to earn points for that. And just a side note is that the points that you see now, they do include Camino, Hotfire, and Parallel Bot. So it's quite common in the chat that people are asking me whether these platforms are included. So yes, if you have provided LP on Camino or on Hotsite, check with the wallets that you use to LP on those platforms. You can see it. And lastly, I've written a very long, detailed breakdown of how we calculated the points and onto proposals on Meteora.ag. So if your question is, why is my points lower than I expect, please check that out first. You can see it on the view detail button on the points page as well. So,
Soju, a couple of people are asking you, how are you going to spend the 1K that you got from winning the bet?
So someone made me place a bet that it won't happen in July. So I bet a 1K that we will do it. We'll get it done. And then someone else came in and said that like, oh, Meteor, you should be pretty rich. So why 1K? Why not do 100K? But it's okay. I have no intentions of collecting the 1K. And if he intends on paying it it will go to the LP Army beer fund or whatever to enjoy with it. I had no intentions of collecting the money to my own wallet. It was just a nice way to
Absolutely.
signal to the community that we had confidence to pull this off.
Absolutely. And there are also some folks in the chat who are also, asking about why is my wallet flagged. We'll cover that in just a bit. So just bear with us. Just bear with us.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm going to talk about three things on today's tour. I'm going to talk about how we calculated the points. I'm going to talk about a quick overview of what's the total number of points and everything. I'm going to address everyone's concerns basically. So first, how we calculated the points. So we wanted to make sure that the points were accurately calculated, and also take into consideration how much people like to LP like meme coins that pop off and go off like on the day itself. So we did a three-step approach, which is what I have here: wallet flagging, pool-based blacklisting, and token-based blacklisting. So I'll talk about wallet flagging briefly first. We should then dive into more later. So we flag wallets in a variety of ways. The biggest blacklisting that we had was the Kelsier address blacklisting. So these addresses completely blacklisted. You can't even see your points on the UI if you're one of these addresses. And we also worked with many other providers, and we also blacklisted those wallets as well to try to form the most comprehensive list of Kelsier addresses as possible. Then we worked with Rugchat to come up with a suspicious wallet flag. This is a flag that you can see if your wallet has been marked as suspicious in a way or another. So this affects 28,000 wallet addresses. And if you're one of these people, you can still see your points, but you will see the orange color thing saying, please submit an appeal, which I'll dive a lot deeper into the next slide. I know this is probably number one question or number two question. So I'll talk about it more on the next slide. So let's move on to pool-based blacklisting. So for pool-based blacklisting, we had two goals. One, to filter out fake tokens as launched by people to just farm volume, or similar pools. So either fake tokens or fake pools to farm volume. So the way we did it is to see how many retail users are actually participating in the pool. And the best way to do that is to do it via Jupyter trade count. So in the 24-hour window, if your pool enjoyed more than 10 trades on Jupyter, which is a very low number, your pool was determined to have real retail users trading against it. If you were doing like some sort of systemic farming operation, you wouldn't be using Jupyter to do it. And that's how we filter out a lot of pools. There's also a TVL and volume minimum of $500 each. So if you had a million pools of $400 each, all the pools will be zeroed out for TVL. So we applied this set of rules, and then we realized that it did not finish the job of making sure that we caught every single person. And we knew that because we looked at the points and we saw that they were very overinflated points. So we move on to token-based blacklisting. The number one thing that people were doing was that someone was issuing a new token, creating pools with that token, and then farming a shit ton of volume. Because those tokens are owned by him, no one else will compete with him, and even though he's on Jupyter, he could still generate as much fees as possible. So the way we did it was that we assessed whether the holders were a realistic number of holders. So there's a minimum of 100 holders, minimum of 100 holders for every token, which I think most meme coins have achieved. And we also blacklist the token if more than 98% of the supply is held by 2 or 5 people. So if let's say like all the supply is held by 2 people, and then you airdrop 1% of supply to 100,000 people, that token will be blacklisted as well. And we checked whether freeze authority was enabled, but we also allowed tokens that were on Jupyter verification. So if you're on Jupyter verification and you have freeze authority, like JLP, you're fine, perfectly fine. And the last thing that we did that is not here is that we simply check whether the owner of the token is the same address that launched the token via that owns the pool. So if you launch the token with the same address and deploy a pool and earn the points, then we blacklisted that wallet address too, unless it's verified as well. This is quite a heavy topic, and I have written a very long and detailed proposal in proposals on Meteora.ag, which I'll just drop it in the chat right now.
Yeah,
so if you want to read it,
I just want to take a moment to say that, a lot of airdrop / like TGE programs, usually when it comes to blacklist, they just deal with, some wallets who are Sybil or a number of inactive wallets, so on and so forth. This is quite possibly one of the most comprehensive blacklists that we've probably had to develop across the 3 verticals, across wallets, across pools, across tokens as well. So, hopefully you guys understand how much effort we're putting into just making sure that, Met goes into the right hands, into the right people's hands. So this is how far we're going for you guys.
Yeah, I think we spent a lot of time working on all these heuristics, and we really want as much Met as possible to go into the hands of real retail LPs who provided liquidity on these tokens, and don't allow any industrial farming operations to capture a lot of supply. That was very important to us.
Absolutely. And on to the next slide.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about fat wallets. So this is the one that everyone is pinging me about in the chat. So how this started was that RugChat, a trusted partner in the space, gave us a list of 22 million wallet addresses on Solana who has done something suspicious, who has traded a token or did anything suspicious. And we wanted to use this list, but we weren't sure how to. And we didn't have any visibility on how the 22 million addresses were calculated. So what we did was that we first do a pass at the list with our own heuristics. We identified people who are power users, people who use Meteora 50 times a month, 6 months non-stop. And this removed about 2,500 addresses from the list. And these 2,500 addresses are our most power users. So we immediately, without appeal, remove them from the blacklist. So what we're doing now is that we want the community to submit an appeal if their wallet is on this list. And how we will use your appeal is that we will look for patterns and try to identify clusters of people who were not supposed to be part of the list, and then drop hopefully a majority of retail users from these 30,000 wallet addresses. Which is why you can still see your points, because we didn't remove your points necessary just because you're on the list, because we anticipate that most people will actually get their points. And just one note as I talk about numbers after this slide, I'll be talking about numbers with regards to everybody on this list being verified. So the final number of points might drop a bit if you actually zero out some people from this list. Yeah. Let's just go back to the site and stay there a bit longer, just to make sure that anyone has any questions. So just to reiterate, if you're on this list, submit an appeal, tell us about yourself, tell us about what tokens you like to LP, tag your Discord and Twitter. We'll read every appeal, we'll find patterns, and we'll try to help as many retail users as possible. But if you see this now, don't be afraid, just appeal. Yeah, that's the message I want everyone to remember. Yeah,
I think in the pursuit towards fairness and accuracy, we've worked with a lot of third-party verifiers like RockCheck, like Bubble Maps, and we've worked with a lot of people in the community as well. People like 0x Babushka, people like Detective, who have also given who have submitted wallets to blacklist. And because of that, we have a fairly comprehensive list of wallets. And because that covers a lot of wallets, your wallets might possibly be wrongly verified. Wrongly blacklisted. And if you feel that you're one of those people who were wrongly blacklisted, please just submit an appeal, and we'll look into it as much as possible.
Yeah. So as Jeffrey L said in the chat, which I can't highlight because I didn't log in, if you're on the list, it doesn't mean that you're zeroed. Submit an appeal, and we'll do our best to help as many retail users as possible. It's very important to us to get this right, so don't be afraid. Yeah.
Absolutely. There's someone that said he had no points as well. I think you should also be able to submit an appeal for this case.
We don't have appeals. Are only there if you have the flag and not there for anyone else. So for this guy, just double check whether you're using the correct wallet. That's probably the first thing that likely happened. Yeah.
Got you. Please do not do this. Please do not send in your entire CV just for an appeal, guys.
And to answer Jeffrey's second question, what we're going to do is we're going to look for patterns. We're going to do pattern recognition to try to catch people who didn't submit appeals as well by seeing the data from other people. Like trying to look for patterns and trying to approve more of them. So we don't know how to use these 22 million addresses, and we are hoping that your data will give us a data point to leverage it better. Like that's what I'm going to be working on starting from next week. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And someone's asking which token made us fat. I have no idea too. All I need you is to tell me like your wallet address, your S account, what's your habit, stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, we will do that. Yeah. Let's go. Next one.
Next slide we go.
Yes. this is the fun part. Let's talk about the points. So in 2024, there were a total of 342 billion points, and in 2025, there's a total of 543 billion points. These points were spread out across 334,000 wallet addresses in 2024 and 290 wallet addresses in 2025. So you can tell roughly how much is the average there. For launchpad and launch pools, a similar amount of 238 million addresses were generated, but across a much smaller 24K addresses. Just a quick reminder, 2024, 8%, 2025, 5%, launch pads and launch pools, of which these launch pool points is a subsidiary, not a superset of, is 3%. So the actual amount of tokens going towards the 238 million points may be lower than 3%. Just something to know. And a lot of people were concerned about Rails. So when it comes to Rails, we are happy to say that the top 10 wallets of 2024 own about 12% of the points. And the top 10 wallets in 2025 own about 19% of the points, which means that the top 20 wallets of points collectively own less than 2% of supply. So we feel like this is a relatively good real balance, and I think I'm comfortable with it. And I want to see what the community thinks. Yeah. What are your thoughts, Miir, on the numbers?
I think I would have expected slightly more numbers, like slightly more in terms of the top few wallets, because this is fairly like Meteora. When it comes to LPing, it is a game for everyone to play. There's a lot of whales that also are involved, and they are also the ones providing deep liquidity. So these are numbers that I would say are fairly expected. But also, just touching on the 2024 and 2025 points, also fairly expected because of the upsurge in tokens like Trump, Millennia, whatsoever. A lot of those tokens that people are having the opportunity to LP, so I think these numbers are fairly reasonable and also fairly expected from my personal point of view.
Yes, it's all before 30th June. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, you don't need to include a wallet address, because when you submit the appeal, I already know what wallet you connected the UI with, and we record it together. So don't worry about it. Yeah. Okay, let's move on. I forgot what slide's the next slide, but let's move on.
The next slide is
this week in the LP Army. Okay.
In the LP Army.
Okay, guys. So let's check. What do you guys want to talk about? Anything more that you have to ask? I think it should be, maybe it's billion instead of million. Let me double check.
Okay. Yeah, it would have possibly been.
Yeah, Miklas is right. It's supposed to be billion instead of million. Thanks for the chat.
Good catch. All right. If anybody has any thoughts, any questions you guys have, I think this will be possibly the last chance you have to place it in the chat, and we will look into it right away.
Yeah. The results are twice as different from third-party queries. Holy shit. If this applies to you, submit a comment on my proposal on proposals.meteora.ag, explain to us the difference, and give us a few theories why you think it may have happened, and I'll look into it personally. So far, what we did was that we ran a few internal private points check-in with the DRUSDAO and LPR leads, and most of the points were no more than 5 to 10% off. Yeah. But if you write on my proposal and say my points are off, give me double. Nope, I will not do that. I will, yeah.
You would need to have the explanations and the possible evidence as to why you think the discrepancy is so high. So we would be able to take a look at it. Don't just say, hey, just give me more points. We won't be able to help you much there.
Yeah. Just a quick reminder, terminal hot-fi parallel bot is included. If you see the flag, just appeal. Go for it. Things will be fine. And I'll just chill here. Let's just give it another 2 or 3 more minutes for more questions. There are more
Absolutely.
crashes there are absolute a number of crashes in Discord, and they're not effing here.
Absolutely. Most of them are not in the chat, but I can see the chat blowing up right now as we speak.
Yeah. For those talking about the Trump Soul pool, can you please make a comment on my page as well? Let me just say it there. Post a comment which pool. Yeah. I'm not worried about the appeals. I'm a bit more worried on people who think that they deserve 3x more points and can't explain why. Like, I want to help those people. Yeah.
Absolutely. The discrepancies, basically.
Yeah. But we're quite confident in it. Yeah. And to ask the answer this question, how will we know why suspicious? I don't know why suspicious either. I just have a list of wallet addresses, which is why I need your help.
Absolutely. So we work with third-party verifiers, security firms, and they are pretty much like the domain experts in this, and we're pretty much working with third-party verifiers as well as folks in the community, to have this comprehensive list. But right now, if you feel like your wallet has been wrongly blacklisted, this is where the appeal system will come in very handy. So if you fall into this category, just submit an appeal and we'll look into it.
Yeah. For Jitter Griffin, please DM me on Twitter 0@soju or make a post on the same LP stimulus update. If you feel like your points are off, even if it's 0 to a very big number or like 2x difference, post on LP stimulus update or message me somehow, Telegram, Twitter, wherever you can grab me, Discord. I'll take a look at it. Yeah. And yeah, I think we are good here. I'll probably go back to Discord and reply people for another 2 hours. And
Absolutely,
continue.
it's very interesting because there's a lot of people asking questions on Discord.
And no one is here.
Absolutely. So thank you so much,
Something to
Soju,
note
for
of.
coming on.
Take care,
Very
guys.
true. And thank you for coming on, Soju. We'll see you soon. All right. With that out of the way, the points checker is now live. I'm not too sure what the URL is, but it's the official link is there under our post. So go and take a look at it. Go and check your points. If you think there's a huge discrepancy, or if your wallet has been, if you believe your wallet has been wrongly blacklisted, submit an appeal, or just reply to our latest post on proposals.meteora.ag. And with that, we're going to move to the final section of today, which is this week in the LP Army. Quite a number of updates as well, equally as important as the past few updates. So here's a quick reminder to everybody. Contributors.meteora.ag is live. And this is for the people, this is for us to show our appreciation to the folks who have contributed, not just via LPing activity. If you've helped create content, or you've been an active participant on Discord, on Twitter, YouTube, even on many other social channels. If you've contributed in a way that is not LPing activity, go into contributors.meteora.ag and fill up the form, and we'll see how we can show our appreciation to you. And again, just a quick reminder: submissions will close on August 8th. So no rush, but just don't forget. Oh, and a good point by Heavy Metal Cook as well. The off-chain contributions also need to be in the same stipulated time period as the point system. So between 1st December 2023 up until June 30th, 2025. Thank you for that note, HMC. Next up, we've got some developments in the Rising Incubator. So I would also love to have the lead for Rising Incubator, Otto, enter the stage. Otto, how are you, sir?
I'm good. Gee, Matt. Wow, my head's reeling from all these announcements.
Absolutely. So what can you tell us about, Unify for some of the people who haven't heard of them before? And, what are the cool stuff they're building?
Unify is a platform that's built on top of Meteora primarily, and they are using artificial intelligence techniques to allow you to build your positions and analyze different pools using the chat interface. And then they also have a builder engine that allows you to build your strategy on the platform and then try and search for pools that match that strategy. It's a very cool system. and they've got big ambitions for where they want to go from here, such as moving away from a chat-based interface to a more visual interface.
Absolutely, and we can see just a quick snippet of how Unify works here. So they're pretty much like an AI LP agent builder, and just based on any strategy that you have or any strategy that anybody else has posted. For example, you've seen Molu's strategy on Twitter, you've seen Raza or Meeks' strategy on Twitter. They are able to create like an agent to help you find LP opportunities pretty much in real time. Am I right, Otto?
That's right. Yeah. And then the key is that they can use the tool to search for pools that might be profitable within those strategies, which is very cool for beginners and people that aren't as skilled at the market making as some of the experts that you listed.
Absolutely. And we're super, super happy to also announce that Unify is also one of the new grantees of the Rising Incubator program. And the grant will basically help them, continue to help build out this agent builder and, test out and continue to refine the strategies as well.
That's right. They received the builder grant, and we're really looking forward to seeing them continue on the path of providing not only faster access and an interesting UI, but also possibly creating a market for strategies to get branded, and that could be really interesting as well. So congratulations to Unify.
Big congratulations to Unify, and very, very excited to see what you guys cook up next. Speaking of cooking, I think RocketScan is also one of the other community tools, fairly new community tools as well, who has been cooking. And RocketScan, if I'm not wrong, is a tool that helps you find opportunities in dynamic AMM v2. Otto has gone on a deep dive with RocketScan last week, so maybe you can just share a bit more about what are some of the cool stuff you discovered there.
Oh, sure. Yeah, happy to summarize. The deep dive was recorded. It was last Monday. Will from RocketScan came on and went deep into his system. It's one of the scanner-oriented, as you can tell from the name, systems that community tools that are at the LP Army have built. And his ambition is to make the fastest way to find out where you can target your efforts to avoid just staring mindlessly at the screen all the time. So make really actionable and relevant notifications for you. And he has not only built a very cool interface, but also built out a lot of back-end infrastructure that makes it even faster than what the Meteora API can provide in terms of fast notifications of trending pools. So he's spent a ton of work, and I encouraged him to apply to the incubator, and he's done so. And we are really looking forward to seeing how much he can build. And this is also an example of a dev that started out being a market maker and now is trying to build a sort of wants to go full time building on Meteora. So this is a perfect case for someone who we want to really encourage as the LP Army.
Absolutely. Very, very interesting stuff coming from RocketScan. Potentially, like working full time as well. We'll see what he'll be able to cook. Potentially on the dynamic AMM v2 side. We've seen a lot of tools for the DLMM, but having more developments on dynamic AMM will be pretty interesting as well. So very excited to see what they cook up. And with that, I think the next slide is going to be about lparmy.com. So with that, thank you so much, Otto. Otto has also been, putting in a lot of effort to shine a light on all of our, newer builders, people like Unify, people like RocketScan, and lots more coming very soon, I hope. And, Otto has been doing a great job. So if you are building on top of Meteora, and you would love to be a part of the Rising Incubator, drop Otto a DM, and we'll see what we can do for you.
Yes, please do. I just love playing with these tools that the community is developing, and If you're in the LP Army and you want to contribute on a more consistent level, definitely let me know, because we're doing more reviews as we continue. Excuse me for my voice.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming on and sharing, and thank you for shining a light on all of our builders.
Okay.
All right. All right. Thank you for coming, Otto. See you soon. Okay. Now, moving on to the next section, which is lparmy.com. We've got quite a number of updates and a few additions to the LP Army Hub as well. Alex has been cooking. He has been cooking, and one of the new shipments is that, there's a lot of threads and tweets in the strategies page that are being highlighted. But I think one of the feedback that we've been getting is that some of these tweets, they have videos on them. And Alex has, taken the liberty to, now embed videos onto the strategies page. So, if you notice any of the new strategies, for example, the ones by Scomby, the ones by Sats Monks, by Pierre Gas Fees as well, and by our recent new addition to the content machine, Logical TA as well. You can check all of these tweets out, these threads out, and the ones with videos on them, you can also watch them directly on the strategies page. So big shout out to Alex for continuing to monitor and to add all of these new shipments, these new strategies into the strategies page. And also a quick addition to the homepage. We've got a new introduction video to lparmy.com. So you can check it out. And, if you know someone who's new to LPing, someone who, needs a bit of assistance, needs a bit of guidance, the LP Army Hub is the best place for you to get started. We've got the beginner's guides. We've got, even the advanced strategies as well. There's no better place to start than the LP Army Hub. All right. Now on to LP Army Summer. I'm going to also bring up Mario into the stage just to quickly share a bit about LP Army Summer. We've got 1 week left, and we've also got a number of competitions across content, across across videos, across security, and many other different topics that creators can start creating content about. So, Mario, what can you tell us about LP Army Summer? Mario, I cannot. Is it me or I can't hear you?
Can you hear me now?
Okay, loud and clear.
The microphone has some issues. You met everyone, so I'll keep this short. We've been running this competition for 3 weeks now, and there's only 1 week left. There has been about 50 submissions so far, and it's great to see that many come up. However, I want to highlight the security and risk content. We've only had 2 on that topic. So if you're looking for some free money, make some content about that, share some knowledge. And we're looking forward to see a few more entries that we can highlight. And also, if you want to keep contributing like this, making more content about Meteora, about the LP Army, feel free to hit me up and we can sort something out.
Absolutely. And these competitions are a great way to, if you're a content creator on X, on YouTube, whatever it is, and you want to get involved in the LP Army, this is one of the best ways to get started. Competitions helped us find a lot of great talents, like people like Mikas, people like Gabriel, who are amazing at creating and editing videos. And if you are someone who is creating content and you would love to be a part of the LP Army, you would love to contribute a bit to the LP Army, this is a great way to start. Oh, and with that, the next section is going to be talking about the Beginners Bootcamp. So I'm going to quickly yeet Mario off the stage and bring back everybody's own heavy metal cook into the stage as well. HMC, how are you, brother?
I'm all good, man. Thanks for having me. Got a nice setup there, Meir. It's a nice glow there.
Appreciate that. And likewise with you as well. You've got I
got my
green screen situation going on.
Yeah,
perfect.
I need to fix the graphic, but anyway, yeah. So Beginners Bootcamp, it's live. Get out there and try it. We are making improvements to it constantly. There's going to be more updates, changes, but the basic is you can get out there, learn at your own pace. There's not a time limit. It might take you about an hour or so, but you can do a little bit each day. Do the beginner's boot camp, get started with the DLMM. You can graduate, all these things. We want to get you onboarded, started faster. So that's the goal with this. Go out there and just get it done, man. And of course, we'll continue our live monthly boot camps. We're going to continue to bring you translations. We'll always do the monthly where we cover, end to end, the DAMV1, the DAMV2, the DLMM, all that stuff. Get your questions answered live. So if that's the path you want, it's still going to continue, as well as advanced boot camps.
Absolutely. So the live boot camps are still going to take place as per, but the beginners boot camp will be an additional resource for people who would love to get started. This will be a fairly simplified curriculum. So this is something you can take pretty much at your own pace, anytime, anywhere, with any asset as well. So if you know someone who's new, someone who wants to get started, this will be the best resource for them to get started.
Absolutely.
And last but most definitely not least, throughout the past few weeks, we've been having a lot of folks from the community who have been making a lot of amazing contributions to the LP Army. And today we also have Scomby, who is right now one of our newest appointees of the LP Army honorary role. So HMC, you can just tell us a bit more about Scomby and some of his contributions to the LP Army.
Well, Scomby, he's a member of the MetTurk DAO, but he also spends some time here with us in the LP Army server, and if you really want, he's really into the DAMV2. If you want to learn more about the DAMV2, he's another great resource for you to follow. And he's got some content and guides and stuff on X, so go give him a follow out there. But we're just happy to welcome him into the fold of the LP Army. We appreciate your work, sir, and welcome. And congrats.
Absolutely. Big shout out to MetTurk DAO as well. MetTurk DAO is one of the amazing regional communities, one of the pioneers actually of the regional communities in the LP Army. So big shout out to Scomby and to MetTurk DAO as well.
Yes, it's awesome.
Absolutely. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that is a wrap for this week. Quite a lot of things we covered. Again, I know a lot of people are fairly interested and also fairly passionate about the point system. People are dealing with a few issues. Maybe, your wallet has gotten, blacklisted, or if there's a bit of a discrepancy, there are ways for us to, help you out, like the appeal system, or if you see any major discrepancies, just replies any of us a DM, send Soju a DM, or reply to his post on proposals.meteora.ag. But apart from that, more updates come over the next week. So keep your eyes peeled. Lots of things to iron out, and lots of updates, new updates to come as well. So with that, we've come to the end of this week's call, and that's it. We'll see you next week.
Yeah. So, guys, we got a brand new song for you dropping today. Community call a song and video. So we're going to end the show with that. I'm super excited for this. I hope you guys like it.
Alpha.
This is Alpha. This is a brand new song, guys. It's coming in. So have a good
Enjoy,
one.
everybody.
Thank you. Yep.
See you next week.
See you.